Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Boxingmaestros, back at it again with another video for you guys, keeping you guys up with the latest news in boxing. This week in boxing, FUNDORA is out for 6 months. We got the notification that he is out because he has a broken nose. Sue in the first and second round, I don't know if you guys remember, was popping his head back with a lot of right hands. Well, due to those right hands, he had a really busted nose, swelling and bleeding profusely all throughout the fight, just like Sue's cut on his head. Well, due to that broken nose, he is out for 6 months. The doctors will not let him fight in boxing. The commissions are not going to let him fight due to the broken nose. So, in those 6 months, he's not going to be able to defend his belt. So, whoever, Spence and Crawford, wanted to fight him next are going to have to wait up until September 27th, I believe it was. It was the very end of September when he will be able to fight again. So, due to that, Spence and Crawford don't have a dancing partner at 154. So, I think it would be appropriate for them to have a rematch. I don't know what you guys think. I think it would be. But then again, it depends on them. Maybe Spence doesn't want that smoke anymore. To be honest, the last fight, it didn't really go his way at all. It's not what we expected. It's not what I expected. But maybe this time around, it will go different. Who knows? Maybe they don't fight each other. A few weeks ago, if you guys remember, I posted something about Crawford wanted to fight Chris Eubank Jr. at 160. I don't know if you guys remember that or not, but that was the news. He posted it on his Instagram, and Chris Eubank did as well, that they were going to fight each other. So maybe Crawford is still looking into that. Maybe he will go up all the way up to 160 or meet at a catchweight with him. And as far as we know, Spence doesn't really have a fight lined up. I'm guessing they were trying to line up the FUNDORA fight, but due to his broken nose, I don't think that's going to happen anymore. And also in news with Spence, talking about Spence, Robert Garcia stated that he would like to train Spence. He said that would be a good matchup for him. He compared it to Maidana, how he really did change up Maidana's style quite a bit. I don't know if you guys remember that or not, but we have Maidana ducking and parrying punches and stuff like that. It was pretty awesome. I didn't think he was going to change him that much, but he did. And he said he would like to work with Spence if he is willing to. If it's not with Derrick James anymore. I don't know if you guys heard that there is rumors that Spence might not be with Derrick James. There's an issue supposedly with the payment that Spence hasn't really paid him in full for the Crawford fight. And when they interviewed Derrick James about it, Derrick James said that he's talked once in Spence in quite a few weeks. And all he said was that he was focused on the now, and he can't focus on the now if he's focusing on the past. And he's focusing on his active fighters right now. That's what he said. Maybe they're split up, maybe they're not, who knows. But we'll see whenever we see Spence back. I will be excited. I don't know if you guys will or not. Comment down below if you will be excited to see Spence come back, whether it's versus Crawford or whether it's versus somebody else. Next news in boxing, we have Benavidez. Benavidez is going to fight Ghostbek at 175. And in a recent interview in Cigar Talk on YouTube, you guys should go check him out, he stated that he's not focusing on Canelo anymore, that he doesn't really think the Canelo fight is going to happen. He said that he's going to focus on the winner of PITBULL and Beterbiev, and he's going to focus on the guys at 175. Ghostbek, his next fight is at 175. He's moving up in weight for it. And he said he would like to fight the winner of PITBULL and Beterbiev. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I think that's an awesome fight. That's an awesome fight for everybody. Not just that Canelo fight is the only good fight for Benavidez at the moment, in my opinion. First, he has to get past Ghostbek, which is also a really good fighter, and he's a really good boxer. I saw his fight against Beterbiev, I believe, and Beterbiev stopped him. But in the beginning 6 rounds, Ghostbek was winning. He was winning, he was outboxing, and he was even stopping and hurting Beterbiev with big right hands. So we'll see what happens with that fight. I, for one, would like to see Benavidez against PITBULL or Beterbiev. Against PITBULL, I think it would be a really tough fight for him because PITBULL moves a lot and he's really active. I think PITBULL will be a fighter that will be able to keep Benavidez off of him. With boxing, a lot of jabs, a lot of lateral movement and things like that. And I think it will give Benavidez trouble. Benavidez will have a hard time against Beterbiev too as well, because I have been saying for a while now that Beterbiev is just a bigger Benavidez. So it will be like a bigger Benavidez fighting a regular size Benavidez. So we'll see how that fight goes. Who wears out who first? Who can outlast who? But that's just per se. We'll see if it actually happens in the future. I personally like Benavidez at 175. Also, in the latest in boxing news, Benavidez and Gervonta Davis are going to have their fights together in one card. Gervonta Davis is fighting Frank Martin, and Benavidez is fighting Ghostwick. And they're going to fight in the same card. So we're going to see two big names in the same card, which I think is awesome and amazing. It's two of my favorite fighters actively right now. So I'm going to love that. And there was a leak from Gervonta Davis on Twitter. He was commenting on somebody's post, and he hinted that it was going to happen at the same place as Meg Thee Stallion as her next concert, which is in the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. And he said it's going to happen in June 22nd. So we'll be looking forward to that. You guys over there in Houston, Texas are pretty lucky to have that event in front of you. And I hope you guys are able to get some tickets, because it is going to be some fire fights. Next week in boxing, we also have Devin Haney. Devin Haney posted a story on his Instagram showing off his physique. He is shredded, and when I mean shredded, I mean veins popping out of his abs and stuff like that. So, well, we know that he is in tip-top shape. Devin Haney usually does stay in really tip-top shape, and he is for this fight. Ryan Garcia also posted a video on Twitter, I believe, and it showed that he also is pretty shredded. Not as much as Devin Haney per se, but he does look like he's packing out some mass, some muscle. Ryan Garcia is no longer looking like the young man that's coming up in boxing. He's actually looking like a grown man. He has muscle, he has big arms, he has a big chest, and he's ready to go. So we'll see how that fight happens. I personally think that Devin Haney is going to outbox and possibly stop Ryan Garcia from an accumulation of punches later on in the fights. I think it will be a TKO, and the referee will have to go in there and be like, you know what? That's it. Just like with Rolando Romero, Ryan Garcia is not going to want to go down. He's going to take a lot of punishment, and they're going to have to get him out of there for his own good. I think that's what's going to happen in that fight. But we'll see what happens. Maybe I'm wrong. Also, next week in boxing, not next week in boxing, my apologies. This week in boxing, Isaac Cruz, the Pitbull, he knocked out Rolando Romero, as we saw last week. And in this week, they're making some conversations here and there of who Isaac Cruz might fight next. Well, they're saying that Eddie Hearn has said that he would like to make the Subriel Matias versus Isaac Cruz fight. I think that would be an amazing fight. Subriel Matias is a knockout fighter. He hits really, really hard. And so does Cruz. And Cruz has a good style for that, because Cruz has an in style. And he's going to get right into Subriel Matias and just bob and weave, try to avoid punches and hook. And Subriel Matias is going to hook an uppercut because he loves the uppercut. So we'll see how that fight happens. If it actually goes down, nothing is set in stone yet. But when Isaac Cruz beat Rolando Romero in the interview, he said that he would like anybody at 140. And he said Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, and Tank Davis, just to name a few. So who knows how those fights will go. I think Devin Haney will absolutely beat Isaac Cruz. I think it will be really hard for Isaac Cruz to catch him or catch up to him if he has that big lateral movement that he always does. He has that big reflexes to get away from punches. And he's also a lot longer than Isaac Cruz. I don't think Isaac Cruz is going to get in that at all. Now, a fight against Tank Davis is one that I would like to see. I don't really need to see a rematch per se, because if Tank hurt his hand and he beat Isaac Cruz with one hand, and we all saw the hand a day later, it was swollen like a balloon. I think, because a lot of people were saying that he's lying, that he didn't actually hurt his hand. His hand was hurt, and he showed the picture the day afterwards. It was really big. You couldn't even see his knuckles through it. It just looked like a big old balloon on there. So I think that fight, it could happen again. I think it will be an awesome fight. I think it will be as awesome as the first time. I think I would like to see it. And I also think that Gervonta Davis will possibly knock out Isaac Cruz in the fight. If they actually have a rematch, if he actually has both hands, I think he will really put it on him and really shut people up. Now, against Teofimo is another good fight that I would like to see Isaac Cruz in. Teofimo, as we know, sometimes he shows up and he's really, really good. And sometimes he doesn't show up and he's kind of B-class fighter, which I don't like, because I'm a big Teofimo fan as well. We'll see which one shows up if they actually fight. If it's B-class Teofimo, I think Isaac Cruz is going to stop him, just like he did Rolando Romero, which I hope does not happen. But if we show up with Teofimo El Gordo Lopez, then I think it would be an awesome fight. I think he would outbox Acid Cruz. I think it would be maybe a war in the beginning rounds, but then in the later rounds, whenever Teofimo gets his groove on, he'll just be pop shotting him here and there, and maybe even take him out. Who knows what will happen in that fight? So that will be all for this week, guys. I hope to see you guys back next week. I do these videos every week. It's called This Week in Boxing for a reason, because I like to put all the news together in one video in case you guys want to see a big video. Later on, I'm going to make a smaller videos about each of the news that I just stated in this video. And I would like to see you guys subscribe, like, share, and comment, please. And I will see you guys back next week. Have a good one.